this is a Unit 3 test remediation for the most missed questions, Unit 3 test part 1. So the number 7 on the test is The Cask of Amontillado. And this is an Edgar Allan Poe story. You can go and refer back to the story, obviously, at any time. But the question that was most missed was, how does the author create a sense of tension? Your choices are A, the author uses dialogue to slow the pace. B, the author uses flashback to reveal secrets about the main characters. Or C, the author intentionally withholds information from readers, leaving them in the dark about the characters' motivations. If you check out the story, and you can always go back and reread in the text, I would suggest rereading it. But what you're going to notice is the fact that there's a lot of dialogue. In this case, the answer here is A. The author uses dialogue to slow the pace because he's trying to create the tension with this dialogue. We know this, first of all, by looking at the passage, but, and you know what, let me just put a box around this one. B, the author uses flashback. If you reread this story, the author does not use flashback in this story. So we know it's not B, so we can eliminate that answer. We know it's not C because this is not true either. The author does not withhold information from us as the reader. So really the only thing he is using other than his word choice to create a sense of tension is the use of dialogue. So in this case, the answer is A. There's a few more most missed questions, so we're going to focus at the ones on the top of the screen first. This is from the Autobiography of Ben Franklin. What I want you to remember is in this story, in our Unit 3, we talk about humor, okay? We're going to look at question 11, which is part A first, and then check out part B, number 12, which was, I think, the absolute most missed question on the test. So part A, number 11, what effect does the phrase, "my father intending to devote me as the tithe of his sons to the service of the church," have on the meaning of the passage? The answer for this one is it implies he has no choice in the career he will have. Basically, his father is offering him to the church to serve the church. Okay, so he's implying he has no career choice. That's question 11. Tithe means to offer. So, part B, question 12, how does the phrase, "my father intending to devote me as the tithe of his sons," or the offering, "to the service of the church," contribute to the passage's tone? This is tricky because depending on what time period you're reading this in, we're reading this in present day. We're not really getting the humor here. However, in this autobiography, he is trying to be humorous, okay? So in this case, the answer is A. It adds a touch of humor. I do think humor is in the eye of the beholder, and you have to consider the time period it was written in. So some people reading this during the time period it was written probably laughed, like, "Oh, that's so funny. His father's offering him to the service of the church," and they get the joke. We are reading this in present day, so you may not be getting that it is humorous. The answer here is A. It's not about being obligated. It's about laughing at the fact that his father is doing this, offering him without giving him this career choice. Okay, so let's look at the next one. And these are the final two that were most missed. So we want to talk the most dangerous game, and we're going to look at this passage. First, let's look at our questions. What does the interaction between the hunters reveal about Zaroff's attitude towards Rainsford? So you want to figure out the attitude. And then part B, how does Zaroff's attitude advance the plot here? I can't believe you are serious, General Zaroff. This is a grisly joke. Why should I not be serious? I am speaking of hunting. Hunting? Good God, General Zaroff. What you speak of is murder. The general laughed with entire good nature. He regarded Rainsford quizzically. I refuse to believe that so modern and civilized a young man as you harbors romantic ideas about the value of human life. Surely your experiences in the war did not make me condone cold-blooded murder, finished Rainsford stiffly. Laughter shook the general. How extraordinarily droll you are, he said. One does not expect nowadays to find a young man of the educated class, even in America, with such naive, and if I may say so, mid-Victorian point of view. It's like finding a snuff box in a limousine. Ah, well, doubtless you have Puritan ancestors. So many Americans appear to have had. I'll wager you'll forget your notions when you go hunting with me. You've a genuine new thrill in store for you, Mr. Rainsford. Thank you, I'm a hunter, not a murderer. Dear me, said the general, quite unruffled. Again that unpleasant word. But I think I can show you that your scruples are quite unfounded. Okay, so our first question we want to focus on is part A. What does the interaction between the hunters reveal about Zaroff's attitude toward Rainsford? A, he thinks of Rainsford as a worthy opponent. B, he believes Rainsford's view of life and death are insincere. C, he views Rainsford's moral stance as misguided and uninformed. General Zaroff is basically laughing at the fact that Rainsford can't see his perspective in hunting humans for game. Okay, so he thinks he's kind of surprised, and he thinks he's very misguided and uninformed. The answer here is C. He's basically laughing at Rainsford's perspective of not understanding. So the answer here is C. He's not viewing him as a worthy opponent. He doesn't believe his views are insincere. He just kind of thinks like he's so misguided, and he basically laughs like he'll eventually see hunting humans is quite okay. The answer there is C. 16. How does Zaroff's attitude advance the plot here? A. Since Zaroff sees Rainsford as sentimental, he misjudges him as an opponent. B. Because Zaroff is intelligent, he tries to be a master of men. C. Since Zaroff enjoys conversation with Rainsford, he uses it to analyze his enemy. The answer here is A. Since Zaroff sees Rainsford as sentimental, he misjudges him as an opponent. In this passage, this is where we are getting our answer from, the passage itself. Okay, so this particular part of the passage, he's totally misjudging Rainsford. He's thinking, oh, this guy, it's going to be so easy to hunt this guy, and he is misjudging him here. So the answer here is A. That is the remediation for Unit 3, Part 1 test. Please message me with any questions. Thanks.